Previously on Asagao Academy.
That's Jared! He's the most beautiful guy in school. What's Normal Boots Club? It's a club we have at school here. It's like totally exclusive and full of only the coolest students. That one right there is John, also known as JonTron. His bird's name is Jock. John is also the president of the drama club here at school. And then there's Satchbag, but everyone calls him Satch. He's like crazy smart. So how would someone, join the Normal Boots Club? You don't choose the boots, Hannah. The boots choose you.
What does that even mean? You have to be presented with the boots to be in the club, and they're like super selective. What are the boots? The club has this boots statue. It's like the one on their patches, but it's gold plated. It's their mascot, I guess. They do this weird initiation ritual with it. Ritual? I hear they fill a room with candles and wear those totally creepy robes during her initiation. This year, 2 girls said she saw it once and they were like chanting around the boots, and it sounded like they were talking backwards. But I don't believe her. And even if it is true, I don't care if they're a cult because they're all really hot. Do they have a lot of friends? Yeah, tons of friends. I'd say they're the most popular kids in school. I mean, everyone in the school totally looks up to them. I bet they could get any girl in school, too. Or boy, for that matter. Hey, are you gonna eat your cake? I shook my head and pushed the plastic tray across the table to her. For the remainder of lunch, I listened to my talk about Jared through mouthfuls of half-dissolved frosting. Back at the dorm, I sorted through the pile of textbooks that the school left for me. My radio was playing a poppy tune, equal parts music to static. My fervently scribbled in a notebook at her desk, hunched over it with a strikingly poor posture.
Hey!
Hey, Mai? She didn't bother to look up. Am I supposed to have a textbook for History 309? She shuffled through She shuffled through the papers on her desk before producing a thick textbook. A demure man with a powdered wig frowned at me from the cover. Yeah, this one. I sighed. I don't have that one. The school must have missed it. Mai shrugged and set the textbook back in her pile. They have a bunch at the library. You could just check one out. Where's the library? Mai riffled through her notebook and wrote something down. She tore the page out and handed me a crudely drawn map. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be back in a little bit. It took me at least 20 minutes to find the library. By the time I realized I was holding the map upside down, the sun was setting. The library was much larger than I expected. The walls lined from floor to ceiling with books of all sizes on rough wooden shelves. Intimidated, I headed for the front desk. A recognizably green and gray jacket was bent behind the corner. Normal boots. I briefly considered running away.
Hey.
Can I help? Can I help you? Satch is one of my favorite YouTubers, so this is gonna be really hilarious. Can I help you? Too late. Yeah, the school forgot to give me one of my textbooks, and I was told I can get it here. Which one is it? The History 309 textbook. He stepped from behind the counter and motioned for me to follow. We dodged between the aisles in a comfortable silence. He seemed friendly enough. I should say something. What was his name again? Shane? Gerard? John? No, not John. Satch. Huh? Oh, you work here? Of course you worked here. He chuckled, dimples appearing in his cheeks. Yeah, I'm the librarian's assistant. It's my 2nd year and I love it. I get to help people find books that speak to them. I can't do a deep voice like Satch, but it was a little, His eyes twinkled like a kid's on Christmas. Your book's right down here. He stopped at a row of thick, dusty books. Was this all history? And pulled out the book with the powder-wigged man I saw earlier. Thanks! He waved his hand. It was nothing. Do you need help with anything else? I wanted to make a good impression on the Normal Boots Club, but I couldn't come up with anything. No. Thanks.
Copacetic.
Sure. As we headed back through the cavernous library, my unease melted away. We weren't talking, but just being near him felt like being wrapped in a soft blanket. I resisted the urge to snuggle up to him. We neared the front desk, stepping around a clump of studying students. As we passed, one of them shifted. Something white flew past my face. A thick piece of triangular paper lay at my feet. I bent over and picked it up. It was surprisingly heavy. There was a quarter inside of it. If I was just a hair slower, it would have hit me in the face. The students snickered, and I recognized the boys that made fun of my hair this morning among them. My heart dropped. I scanned my memory for anything I might have done to offend them, but came up with nothing. My hand started to shake. I hid it behind my back, trying to think of some way to defend myself. Why did you do that? What do you mean? We were just messing around. Are you suggesting we did it on purpose? I faltered. There was nothing I could say. I was outnumbered. They would twist my words around no matter how straightforward I was. No, sorry. One of the boys held his hand out for the paper. I inched closer to give it to him, angry at myself for being so compliant. I wish I were. A gentle warmth closed over my hand and took the paper from me. Satch examined the paper closely. I see what the problem is. Your aim would have been better if you cut the corners before you folded it. He placed the paper on the table. The boy looked at him in sheer awe. Be careful though, you almost hit her and that would have been awful. My hands began to sweat as panic shifted through me, afraid of the response, but... Geez, we're sorry, we'll be careful next time. Yeah, it was an accident. They apologized? Thanks, I appreciate it. He gave them a wild smile and continued down the aisles. I followed closely, behind, my legs weak. Don't tell me they stopped because of him, simply because I was with him? I wanted to thank him, but my heart was pounding so hard I knew my voice would shake. We reached the front counter and he scanned the history book. My lips trembled as I willed myself to say something, anything, to thank him. He tilted his head to the side. What books do you like to read? Oh, fiction? He chuckled. I just finished a good book. I think it'd be right up your alley if you don't mind me saying so. He reached under the counter, pulled out a thick green book, and passed it to me. A man in black stood in front, hugging a woman in royal robes. It's long, but it's one of my favorites. The Princess Betrothed. Betrothed. I know things can be tough transferring to a new school. If you're ever worried, just read this. It'll transport you 100 miles away in a second. Tears stung my eyes, so I ducked my head.
Satch.
Thank you, Satch. For more than just the books. You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I got your name.
My name is Hana.
I'm a transfer student.
Hana.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Hana. Let me know how you like the book. I just realized she said Hannah. But he said Hana. I'm gonna keep calling her Hana, though. I will. That couldn't have gone better. Not only was Satch impossibly kind, but being around him felt easy, refreshing. Like being doused in the midst of a waterfall. Oh gosh, what was I thinking? My cheeks hot, I left the library, 2 surprisingly heavy books under one arm. I settled into bed, eager to get started with my new reading material, but Mai was sitting at her desk, carving a pencil idly into the pages of a notebook. Every few minutes she released a long drawn-out sigh as the lead of her pencil whined against the paper. I lowered my book and took the bait. Is something wrong, Mai? She let out another dreary sigh. I hope Jared notices me this year. Does Jared know you like him? Mai whirled around in faint shock.
What?
I don't like Jared. Oh. I closed my book and set it aside, deciding to play along. Well, have you at least tried talking to him? No. I mean, I have before. Why don't you try again? She bobbed her head from side to side, considering this like it never crossed her mind before. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Satisfied, I picked my book back up. Have you ever had a boyfriend, Hannah?
What?
Huh? Me? No, never.
Really?
Really? Never? Never. I bet you 10,000 yen that you meet a totally cute boy here and fall in love by the end of school year. You're crazy. I buried my face back in my book, barring Mai from any further discussion. Fall in love by the end of the year? Me? If I were a betting kind of girl, I'd take that bet. I woke the next morning with what felt like a lizard in my throat. Mai was already up, shuffling through her school bag with an enigmatic grin. The first day of school.
Hannah!
Hannah, you're finally awake! Her voice sliced through the air like a knife, and I winced. She was definitely a morning person. It's time for the first day of school, aren't you excited? I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. What do you mean? Is something special happening today? Something strange always happens on the first day of school, especially to someone like you. She winked.
What?
Someone like me? You know what I mean. She smiled and started messing with a pile of papers on her desk. Shaking my head, I got out of bed and pulled my uniform out of my closet. My palms sweat as I held the gold vest and the blue jacket. Was it really possible for things to be different here than they were at home? What if the problem wasn't actually the school? I shook the thoughts out of my head and changed into my uniform. Oh! What is it? You look so cute.
Really?
Really? Heat crept up my neck.
Yeah!
Yeah, completely. Your hair matches your uniform so well. You look like a flower blooming straight out of the ground. Thank you. Water stung the back of my eyes. I started packing my backpack. Why was I getting worked up about something as little as this? Must have gotten less sleep than I thought. Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. I'm just happy. How dumb was that? I started crying on the first sign of someone being nice to me. I took a deep breath to steady my nerves. What an oddly menacing laugh. Thud. All the air left my lungs as something like horse hooves slammed against my back. You'll do just fine. Don't worry. This is gonna be awesome. I stiffly peered over my shoulder. That was you?
What?
Huh? Mai stood behind me, her hand raised. Somehow she had the strength of a bodybuilder. Nothing. I was just about to zip in my bag when I spotted the book Satch gave me was lying on my nightstand. The Princess Betrothed. He said if I ever needed to be transported somewhere far away, I could take it with me. It was pretty good so far. Maybe it would be smart to bring it along, just in case I had no one to talk to between class periods. What I needed for my first day of class? Am I gonna go after Satch? I kinda wanna take it anyway. I mean, if I can take it and just not read it. Oh. I put it into my already overfull bag, biting my lip. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have. It never hurt to be prepared, right? That's what I was thinking. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Stick with me and you'll be fine. Mai opened the door and together we stepped into the hallway, merging into a steady flow of chittering girls and fruit-flavored perfume. Fruit-flavored. Fruit-scented. Oh my, I did not know we lived on the same floor. No way, really? That's awesome. Now we'll be able to catch up. Whatever happened between you and... The river of girls shifted as we headed down the stairs. Suddenly I found myself surrounded by a bunch of people I didn't know.
What a jerk.
Oh wow, what a jerk he turned out to be. Mai's exclamation faded into the buzz of voices in the air. Oh no. What would I do if we got separated? Anxiously I searched the crowd of girls for Mai, but I couldn't find her. Everyone was dressed the same in the same Asagao uniform. It was difficult to tell everyone apart, and being so short didn't help the situation. As we turned the last corner down the stairwell, I saw a flash of red hair a little ways in front of me. Mai? I reached between the two girls and tapped her on the shoulder. Huh? Who are you? The girl's eyes flashed, almost like a jolt of electricity shot through them. I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else. She said nothing and turned away. Before I knew it, I stood outside of the Primrose House, watching the flow of girls dispersed across campus. Mai was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't even hear her chirpy voice. Oh man. I took a deep breath, biting my lip. This wasn't a big deal. I can go to class alone. But I didn't even know where the building was. I reached into my backpack and dragged out my class schedule. Homeroom 206 Poppy Hall? Which one was Poppy Hall again? Weren't the classrooms on the other side of campus? I picked a direction and began to walk, trying to ignore my rising panic at the thought of arriving late to the first day of class. As a third year where no one knew me, all of the people staring. Hey, you okay? You look a little lost. Someone called out to me and I turned around, almost jumping for joy. When I froze. My Normal Boots jacket. He was part of the Normal Boots Club. I could practically feel my tongue swelling in my mouth. If this was a Normal Boots Club member, I had to make a good impression. He was one of the founders, right? Then he must be. JonTron. Yes, I'm new. I don't know where the Poppy Hall is. You a freshman? No problem. My class is in Poppy Hall. I'll walk you there.
Really?
Really? That would be wonderful. Thank you. Was this really happening? He began walking towards a large brick building in an enthusiastic manner, pumping his arms up and down like he was in some kind of show tune. I fell into step behind him. I didn't notice it when Mai pointed him out to me yesterday, but JonTron had big brown eyes and a warm-looking face. He was basically a human puppy. I glanced up at him and out of the corner in my eye. I just realized the music is like kind of based off of, is it the JonTron theme or the Pro Jared theme? One of those two, maybe a mix of both. A bird on his shoulder. Birds always made me uncomfortable. Something about the ease with which they can poke someone's eyes out. Is something wrong? Why'd you stop? No, nothing's wrong. He followed my gaze to the bird on his shoulder. Hey! Oh, this is Jock. Isn't he cute?
Nice to meet you.
It spoke? Yeah. He put his hand to his shoulder. Jacques jumped into his palm. Jacques is a robot bird. Oh, wait. Jacques is a robot bird, see?
Hello.
Jacques' eyes gleamed a dangerous red when he spoke, but nothing else suggested he wasn't a normal bird. In fact, if I hadn't known better, I would have said the red in his eyes was just painted on. That's amazing. Jacques twitched his head to the side, examining me in return. The more he looked at me, the less afraid I was.
What are you looking at?
What? Nothing, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Jacques can be a little sassy.
Who are you calling sassy? I'm not the sassy one. I don't forget to feed you.
Jacques, that was one time!
I was all alone and starving in the frozen tundra of this empty world, loveless, afraid.
Ignore him. I've been bringing him with me to the drama club and he's taken a little too well to it.
I see how this is. Shut me out like I have nothing to add to the conversation.
Shockery took his place on John's shoulder, this time facing away from us, as if miffed. We resumed our walk towards Poppy Hall. I'm JonTron, by the way. Call me John.
Hana, nice to meet you.
Hana? Hana? That's a cute name.
Well, thank you. So, how long have you had a dog?
Since middle school. We've been together for 4 years now. Ain't that right?
I'm not listening.
Yeah, well, I love him to death. I don't know what I'd do without him. It seemed like life would be a lot easier without him, but who was I to say? We arrived at the brick building. A white sign surrounded by poppies declared it to be, unsurprisingly, Poppy Hall. Which room are you in?
Room 206.
Really?
Seriously?
Yes?
That's my homeroom. We're in the same class. John laughed and clapped me on the shoulder. Wonderful. I guess I'll be seeing more of you then, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Together, we entered Poppy Hall.